Hi, welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we are talking about the movie The Protégé. It is a new action flick from the director that brought us some of the best James Bond movies such as GoldenEye and Casino Royale. If that doesn't sell you on this movie, I don't know what will. Either way, I'm ecstatic to see what this movie is all about. Rescued as a child by the legendary assassin Moody and trained in the family business, Anna is the world's most skilled contract killer. But when Moody, the man who was like a father to her, and taught her everything she needs to know about trust and survival, is brutally killed, Anna vows revenge. As she becomes entangled with an enigmatic killer whose attraction to her goes way beyond cat and mouse, their confrontation turns deadly and the loose ends of a life spent killing will weave themselves even tighter. After recently getting out of this movie, I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. It's nothing overly spectacular the previews made it out to be, but there's still some sense of fun to be had out of it. Sure, there's a fair amount of good action going on with some splendid acting, but everything else about this movie just felt downright dull, as much as I hate to say. First off, let's talk about the action set pieces that this movie does have. There's an alright amount of action going on, but there's much more to be desired. It can be about as brutal as the John Wick movies, while it does kind of hold itself back, so to speak. I don't know how else to describe it, but the shootouts and fistfights felt a little too choreographed for my liking, whereas it just doesn't come off as natural. I will admit that the action scenes are fun to watch, but that shouldn't be the main focus as to where the down moments lack any substance. When it comes to the talent, Maggie Q is phenomenal as the main lead actress. She's been in a lot of movies, but I mostly remember her from the ping pong movie Balls of Fury, and also the fourth Die Hard. In this particular movie, she's amazing to watch as she pulls off some really good fight scenes. Michael Keaton plays the movie's antagonist and does so amazingly. Whenever Maggie Q and Michael Keaton share scenes together, they both display some interesting chemistry that makes for a fun time. If only we had more of that, I think the movie would have improved greatly. Even Samuel L. Jackson makes for a fun and interesting addition to the film, even though he may not be in it as much. For him to make an impression with such a small role, it just shows how amazingly talented he truly is. Here's where things start to get lousy. As far as the plot goes, it's nothing original, as we've seen many espionage revenge action thrillers that have done it completely better. This movie itself, however, is, lack of a better word, bland. Even after watching it, I couldn't 100% tell you what it's about because I really just didn't give a care. To top things off, the movie ends on an abrupt note without any sense of closure. By the time it ended, I was sitting in utter disbelief with why they decided to quickly close the movie like that. I don't know what else they could have added, but it definitely needed something else to not end the movie the way it did. I really tried to like this movie. I really did. But I just could not get into it. It may be flashy with its brutal sense of nature, but the film itself was not substantial at the slightest. I definitely see a bright future with Maggie Q taking on more spy thriller movies. Maggie Q's back must be hurting, especially from carrying the movie as much as she did. Between her, Michael Keaton, and Samuel L. Jackson, they are the saving grace of this rather disappointing film. Overall, The Protégé is a forgettable film at best, as much as I regret to say. It's not an overly terrible movie, but I'm definitely not going to remember this one within the next couple of days or so. There's a good movie in there somewhere, if you can manage to spot it. If anything, this movie is what I would consider to be just about as average as they come. I give this movie a C. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Keep up my real reviews.